Has someone just seen your doppelganger? Oh my god, that's a bad omen. You must be ill or your death is on your way. Doppelganger is a German word that means double worker. It means a literal duplicate of you. It is most widely known about doppelgangers that they are an omen of death. According to both English and German folklore, seeing a doppelganger often means that death will follow soon, even more so if you see them more than once. It is backed up by many stories throughout the time that have told tales where people have died shortly after seeing the doppelgangers multiple times. For example, Lincoln. When Lincoln saw his doppelganger, it was the night of his election. He was sitting on the couch and happened to glance into the mirror, where he saw himself and the second face that was also his. The second Lincoln was pale and ghostly. It disappeared when the new president stood. When his wife saw this, she was very upset. His wife was said to be very worried and told Lincoln she believed that the paleness of the half-dual image was a bad omen, which meant that Lincoln would serve his full term but would not live to his second. Lincoln said, "Nearly at full length, but my face had two separate and distinct images." A doppelganger is also a ghostly double of you, who lived before you do, and which is very creepy to think about. Doppelgangers are not just evil creatures, they're supernatural and ghostly. It comes from the Norse mythology, and doppelganger there is called a verdugo. It describes rare incidents that are basically deja vu in reverse, where a spirit with the subject's footsteps, voice, scent, or appearance and overall demeanor precedes them in a location or activity, resulting in witnesses believing that they have seen and heard the person before the actual person arrives physically. In Greek mythology, Narcissus falls in love with his reflection, and in Gothic tales such as Edgar Allan Poe's William Wilson, James Hog's Private Memoirs and Confessions of a Justified Sinner, Elizabeth Gaskell's The Poor Clare, and even Hans Christian Andersen's lesser-read fairy tale The Shadow, the characters are haunted and followed by their own, often malevolent likenesses. Doppelgangers are said to be the works of fiction. There are a number of real-life cases in which individuals claim to have met their sinister double. Among the most noteworthy is Abraham Lincoln's experience, as chronicled by Noah Brooks in his book Washington in Lincoln's Time. Where did the belief in the spirit doubles come from? While many today still believe in the existence of a double self, some scientists believe that we live in a parallel universe in which everything in this world is replicated in another dimension. Believe the phenomenon occurs based on injuries or simulation to certain parts of the brain, which causes error in spatial reasoning, thus resulting in hallucination. Is this not so true? Having an exact you is impossible. What is possible is to have a person looking somewhat or mostly like you, and there is a very scientific reason behind it. We are formed from a unique combination of gene intermixing, hence every individual is unique. From birth to end, every human being has their own individualism. As they mature, they are exposed to circumstances which would again mold them continuously in their lifetime. Yes, every person responds to it differently, and hence variations do exist. Twins can look different at times, and siblings are strangers, while two unrelated people can look exactly the same. Now look at this picture. Now look at the next picture with the eyes and noses separated. They look very different now, don't they? You look at a face which might look similar to one another when they're seen as a whole, but they're not in fact. This is exactly what happens when we come across a doppelganger. Lookalikes or doppelgangers exist. A doppelganger will never be the exact you. There will be always differences in spite of the several similarities you come across. Today, it is often used in a very casual way to mean maybe you heard someone say something like, "I saw your doppelganger today. They look just like you. You two should pose up or play pranks." While it may sound fun, go forward and try it. However, a doppelganger will be the exact you. That is not true. Sometimes the differences can be huge just like this. Dude, just kidding. When we emotionally vibe with an unrelated person, we consider ourselves having similar thoughts and beliefs. Yet there are differences. In the same way, for people with physical appearances, When we look at each other, we consider ourselves as lookalikes or doppelgangers, but differences still do exist. So it just looks similar to you. Thank you.